Hi everybody, this is Wendy from The Spiritually Curious. Thank you for joining me for this week's card reading. And this week we're just trying to gain a little bit of insight into anything that may be coming up for you over the next coming week. Just a reminder that we do have Halloween coming up soon, so if you are after a personalized reading to connect with your higher self, your spirit guides, past loved ones, ancestors, anything like that, then now is the perfect time to do that. Even with self readings, because the veil between the two realms is at its thinnest at this time of the year. So this is the perfect time to ask for guidance, ask for support, and to connect with anyone who may have passed. And the Queen of Cups has just popped out there, and she is all about intuition and connecting to your higher self, being in touch with your emotions. So let's see if anybody else is going to pop out for us today. Otherwise, we will just go with cards that come to the top of the pack after I've done my shuffle. So I don't feel as though anything else is wanting to pop out. So we are just going to do a reading. Okay, let me just move things down so we can get a good read on this week's reading. So as I said, the Queen of Cups was the first card to pop out, and the Queen of Cups is all about being in touch with our emotions, with our higher self. She's deeply intuitive, balanced, and guided. So this card is also challenging us to be openly expressive with love and to express that deep love. She's asking you to tap into your emotions, to see how they've been serving you lately, and to remind you that you have the ability to connect on a much deeper level. The Four of Swords is the next card that came out, and for me this is about that self-nurturing, self-protection, that while we're being open, we also need to remember that we need to be protected as well. There is a sense that we can be too open and we invite in too many things or allow other people's energies to affect us. So the Four of Swords is almost kind of like, yes, it's great to be open, but don't forget to protect yourself. Don't forget to nurture yourself. Don't forget that you're important too, and that you need to take care of your own health and well-being. And you can see that she has that protection rune on her there. So this to me is really about protecting your heart, protecting your mental health, and making sure that while you are being open and intuitive, you're also working on protecting your energy and taking care of yourself. Because we want to be in this energy of abundance. We want to be in the energy of creativity. And if we don't have the balance between the two, if we're too open and allowing too much stuff to come through, then we risk burnout, we risk fatigue, and we can't be in this beautiful fiery wands energy. Now you may have noticed that this card has come up in a couple of readings that I've done, as well as I think it came up in last week's reading or the weekend before. And I think that's because we're not leaning into this side of ourselves too much. We're not being spontaneous. We're not pursuing our dreams. We're not taking inspired action and being adventurous. We're getting too caught up in other energies and really not celebrating ourselves or allowing ourselves to pursue what our heart is calling us towards. And that can be for a number of reasons, but I think moving into that energy of choosing to spend time on your passions rather than just allowing life to happen to you, it's really inspiring us to take that inspired action, to make choices, to be in this energy, to be happy, to be spontaneous, to be creative. And messages from our soul. So the Judgment card, for me, I really don't like the name of this card, because the last thing this card is asking you to do is be in judgment. For me, this card is more about self-realization. It's about self-understanding, spiritual awakening, really knowing your own motives and your heart, and really that unveiling of your beautiful soul and spirit, and being honest with yourself and inviting yourself and your soul to shine up unapologetically. So for me, it's that real call towards authenticity, towards doing what it is your soul is calling you to do. And I feel like this card, it keeps showing up because we're not feeling into this energy. We're allowing other commitments, we're allowing other people's energies or expectations of us to keep us stuck, to keep us trapped, to keep us following a path that they expect us to do. So we're not falling into this energy of self-actualization and self-realization. We're not allowed to be in that energy of growth, because for a lot of people that scares them. When people have these self-realizations and these awarenesses, we tend to change, and that can be scary for people who are around us. They don't want us to change. They like things to stay as they are. They like the status quo. But you know, our soul chose to be here at this time, to incarnate at this time, and it's here for a purpose, and that purpose is usually self-growth, realizations, increasing awareness, and that is really what our soul is being called to do at this time. And I think if we're honest with ourselves, a lot of the time we are feeling into the energy of the Page of Swords, which is a kind of sense of restlessness, of curiosity, of a thirst for information. Like we want to learn, we want to grow, we have ideas and we have things that we want to share with people, but we get stuck in the 3D day-to-day. We get stuck in, you know, this is expected of me, or I can't do this because I have these other commitments. And for me, it really comes back to the topic that we've had in the Sacred Return membership this month, which is that choosing versus allowing, of finding balance, of knowing that, you know what, if I'm not choosing it, I'm allowing it. If I'm not spending time on these creative pursuits or self-realization, I'm actually allowing myself to be led away from that. And, you know, there's certain things that we have to choose, which not always going to allow us to be in that energy of self-growth. But again, it comes back to finding that balance, of finding the time, of saying no to some things, even though it might upset people, because we value ourselves and we want to put ourselves first. We want to learn, we want to expand our consciousness. We are here for our soul to grow. And if we're not in that energy of curious, of thirsting for knowledge, of wanting to better ourselves, then really we're just existing. And that's not what our soul came here to do. So I hope that gives you some direction for the week. If that reading lands and resonates, please let me know. I would love to hear from you. And as always, if you would like a more personal reading at this beautiful time of when the veil is at its thinnest, then please reach out and let me know. I would love to help you. Bye for now.